Good morning. I want to show you what a bad disabled hotel room looks like. The purpose is to perhaps educate, hopefully, some hotel owners into making disabled access correct. Now, I'm not going to name this hotel unless they fail to treat my complaint with the respect it deserves. And then in that case, I might. But I want to point out that the hotel room that I stayed in a few weeks ago that I mentioned was a really good disabled hotel room is the same hotel. Now, I booked this disabled room online and this is what I've got. To begin with, there's no way I can get to those curtains to close them. There's too much furniture in the way. I can't even, with my one leg, which I shouldn't have to, what if I was spinal cord injury person, I can't even lean on this furniture because it's very flimsy and it would end up tipping over. So I can't even get to the curtains to shut them. The wheelchair does not fit down between the bed on any side. So this one is between the two beds. I've got three, right? And I can't get in between. This gap is even worse. There's no way I'd get through there. And finally, the last gap is the one on the other side of the double bed, and I can't get down there either because there's not enough turning between the cabinet and the bed. So this is what happens. I'll show you. Now, don't forget, I've taken the stump support off this wheelchair in an attempt to try and get into this bathroom, and I can't. I'll show you. The problem is the door opens the wrong way. So how am I supposed to get to the toilet? Because the door opens against the toilet. Also, if this was a proper disabled bathroom, it would have a shower seat screwed to the wall, and it doesn't. Those seats are very flimsy, and I found it actually quite treacherous having a shower. Now let's try and get into the bathroom with the wheelchair. The problem is there's not enough turning between the wall and the wall down there. And actually, if I take the foot plate off as well, I can get in, but then I'm in this position. Now what? I can't shut the door. And I can't get back out either because I go backwards and then I crash into the unit. And I had so much trouble getting turned around to get back in the room or out of the room. So this, I'm sorry, is not a disabled access hotel room. So I decided to try the educational approach today. And when I went down for breakfast, the duty manager that I recognised was on, that knows me well, I showed him the video that I've just showed you. I have not named the hotel anywhere in this, and said to him I wanted him to watch it because the room that he was advertising as disabled was not actually disabled access whatsoever. Now, he agreed that this was unacceptable. When I was watching it, he was shaking his head and things like this. He asked me to email that video to the management of the hotel so that they could see what the problem was, to see whether he could get them to rectify it. Meanwhile, he has upgraded me to a superior disabled room. Now, of course, we had a conversation about the fact that I should not have to pay more for what is a basic human right, in so much as I should have the same access to a hotel room as everyone else. But, anyway, hopefully some good will come of this, and the hotel will realise that what actually disabled access actually means, and maybe change a few things. I don't know, we'll see. I will be coming to the limb centre quite a bit, and of course we've had a conversation about the fact that they would lose quite a regular customer if they didn't rectify this. So watch this space, I suppose. Meanwhile, they did also agree to fix the disabled parking problem and let me have the disabled park like I should have had yesterday when I come back later. So far the complaint response is more positive than yesterday's manager. So let's forget about all this shenanigans and go and get a leg, shall we? All we have done so far, step one, stand up and make sure the leg is balanced. and my height on the left is still the same as the height on the right. Is a way to twiddle with it, but man, it feels strange because you're standing on your right foot and you feel like you're standing on your left knee, and it's all very odd. Socks. Liner socks. Apparently needed to pack out the socket when your leg changes size because it will inevitably get smaller. So I'm going to end up with a pack of these things.
Off you go.
All right. First session done on the trial leg, feeling pretty cool, although a little bit weird, and there's pressure points in places where there shouldn't be, so I had to sit down because it was starting to hurt, but that's what this is all about. He then twiddles around with it, and then I go back later and I tell him whether it feels better or not, because it's easy to mold plastic, and then once we've got it right, he makes the actual leg out of it, and I don't get to take this one home, I take the next one home, the actual leg. So I'm off for lunch. I'm going to push myself around a wheelchair for a while and give my leg a rest. I am very conscious of the fact that I don't want to overdo it, but the prosthetist says that he is stoked with how far I've come so far, and I should be really happy with myself because I've got much further in one session than anyone would normally. So I'm feeling really positive. Really quickly, I just want to go back to the idea that the prosthetic leg is lighter than your actual leg rather than the same weight. The reason is because you've got less muscle and it's doing more work. So that's what the prosthetist said to me today, which makes a lot of sense. This is how a disabled toilet combined with baby changing is done right. Thank you, MERIDIAN Mall, Dunedin. I just had a gorgeous conversation with two lads, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. One of them noticed this t-shirt and said, "Oh, I love your t-shirt." And his mate said, "Oh, you shouldn't be staring." And so it started a conversation about I'd rather people, talk to me than not talk to me and that sort of thing. So when it comes to brazen t-shirts, they are actually working, because what I'm trying to do is break down the barriers and stop people pointing and staring and being afraid of disability, and actually promoting conversation. And for endurability, I'm backing off the weight, so I'm only 40 to 50% weight through the leg now. Safer. Apparently, once we get this leg right, 2 to 3 days, and I get the actual leg. I can't quite believe that. I was expecting weeks. Limb Centre day 1 complete, and I'm feeling pretty stoked about what I've achieved. And the Limb Centre prosthetist has multiple times repeated that I have done an amazing job for the first day on a limb, and how well my walk is looking. He told me that people that are new to prosthetics tend to take a big stride with the amputated leg and then a short hop with the other one, and I had the gait almost normal. We were hyperanalyzing it because in the absence of a physio today, and then I sent the video to my physio, and we actually came to the same conclusion as he did. I needed to work more on the glute and the pullback, and have been doing that, and hopefully the second video this afternoon, it looks a bit better. I think it does anyway. We've tweaked the socket a few more times, and I feel like I've got a bruise starting now where there was a pressure point, but at least I don't have a blister. So I go back tomorrow and I have a physio in the morning, and then 2 more sessions. I go home, and if we've got the leg all sorted before then 3 to 5 days, and I get an actual leg, and I cannot believe the speed of the turnaround. Now, they said that they prioritize people that are new that have not got a prosthetic leg, because their aim is to get people standing up. So they start with children and then work your way upwards. So I get priority over anybody else who's getting a revision on the leg, so that they can get you standing up and moving. So my wish about getting a leg for Christmas, I might even have a leg by the end of the month, or maybe the start of next month. That's just quite incredible. The fact that I might have a leg sort of like 8 weeks after they took mine. I can't quite describe what that makes me feel like. It's so awesome, but it's going to be a lot of work, because all the pressure goes in a different place, and my leg's going to have to build up tolerance, and I'm going to have the leg staring at me whilst I have to work at it gradually. So I know that I'm going to have to rein in my enthusiasm, and I will do that, even though people don't think I will, because actually I don't want to mess this up. So that was the plan this afternoon. When I came back to the hotel, I was speaking to the front office manager, front office manager, and the hotel have actually come good. I've had a long, extensive apology. They asked to see the video of the room for me to show them what is the problem with it, with the disability access, so that I appreciate that it's a part of the hotel is old, part of it is more modern, and they're trying to work the best they can with the old building, but I showed them how all the problems, and they realized there's too much furniture, that they should, we talked about door openings, but there's not enough room in the recess to make it a sliding door. So we talked about perhaps they should stop advertising that one as a disabled access and work out which rooms in the hotel are the cheapest ones to change into disabled access. We spoke about the fact that the hotel is close to the hospital and the limb centre, and they're losing a lot of business by getting this wrong. So I'm hoping that means that there will actually be some change. It might not be straight away, but in the long term. Meanwhile, I've been given a better room that's more modern, that has been built to modern disability standards, and I've now got the disability parking space that I should have. So well done to this hotel for coming good in the end. It's just a shame we had to have a blazing round to get there. So I'm off to meet my friend for coffee, and then I'll have tea, and I'm going to lie down with my foot in the air. Well, actually my non-foot in the air, because I think my leg needs a rest. After having sat around my ass for 7 weeks, walking up and down that little room multiple times, it's actually quite tiring. And yeah, so feeling quite a lot of achievements today. Feeling quite positive. See you tomorrow.